My name is Kennedy Ng, and I am very happy to present to you tonight the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey, which will be an option for the community to know the good things that happen in this beautiful city.
The city of Union City, a cosmopolitan city where almost all of us have seen each other. We are like a large family that through the management of our representatives, they help our citizens. And our people do volunteer work because they know that the city is run by a mayor who has shown that he is not the common politician, but that he works for his community. This program is an extension of information where we are going to have participation of personalities from the public and private sectors so that they can keep us informed of the community. May that be educational activities and everything that benefits us.
Good evening, Union City, the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey. As every Sunday at 7 p.m. we have special guest. And tonight we have a very special one who is a very smart person, and he will be bringing a lot of educational information and general information. Tonight we have my friend Ralph Passante. How you doing?
Very good, Kennedy. Thank you so much for having me on the show this evening.
Thank you for taking the time. I know you been busy every day as everybody in Union City.
We are.
But it is important to bring special guests here to inform the Union City community, the Dream City. And we are here to know about you and to know about the things you do for the city and for the Board of Education, the Dream City. Can you talk a little bit about yourself, your title, and what you do at the Board of Education?
Absolutely. I've been with the board for almost 5 years now, and my title is Coordinator of Data and Community Engagement, which is a mouthful. But essentially, I work with the superintendent. I handle a number of special projects for her. I handle most of the district's external communications. I run the social media, the Facebook, Twitter.
And that's very important.
Oh, yes. And especially in today's digital age, that's really important.
Exactly.
So I handle the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram, and I oversee the website as well. Although we do have a webmaster.
How you handle all these media? Because Facebook, the Instagram, I know that people send you a lot of information.
Yes.
Sometimes we want the information just now. It doesn't work like
do.
that. Can you explain a little bit about how you schedule things to put it in the Instagram or Facebook?
Absolutely. We have a district form that we send out to the schools to allow them to submit content to us, because there'll be events, there'll be just even sometimes just fun things that the kids are doing or achievements of different faculty members or students that we want to announce. Plus we use it also for district-wide announcements if we have school closings, if we have an upcoming holiday. Sometimes when we were doing virtual graduations, we were showing them on the social media pages. So we send that out to the schools. They submit it with all the information. We try to post everything that they send within 24 hours of submission, so that it gets up. And yes, it does mean sometimes working a lot of evening hours from home.
I know. Tell me how that works, because we have minors, students. When we show videos and pictures, what duties that you have to do to present those pictures in the media?
Thank you for asking that, because that's a really important point. It is very important when we have minors under the age of 18, that means, that we have parental permission in order for them to have their photos posted. So when students begin for the year, on the parent portal on our website, there is a consent form that parents have to sign, indicating whether or not they give consent for their children to be photographed or videotaped, and for those images to be used publicly. Now, those images are only used in district publications, which would be, for instance, our quarterly newsletter, or on our website or social media pages. They are not given out for anybody else to use. If a parent does not give us permission, then that child is not included in any photographs. Teachers are responsible for knowing which students in their classes do not have permission. Fortunately, that happens very rarely. Most parents are willing. One thing we do as a safety safeguard, just to make sure, is we will never publish a student's face and name simultaneously if they are not at least in high school.
That's great to know.
High school students, it's a little different because a 15 or 16-year-old is different than a 6-year-old. But the younger students, we will not publish their names and faces together.
Very good. Before you started working for the Union City Board of Education, did we have that position, or you are the first one?
No, I created it. Or
wow.
The superintendent created it for me.
I know you are doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you
Not
very
for
much.
nothing, but I always check the media. I'm into the media live.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of hours doing this. It's great.
I do. I work a lot of hours in the evenings from home, and of course I work on the weekends as well. I mean, not 8 hours a day on the weekends, but I do have to check the social media every day to make sure.
Ralph, tell me something. Like, when you first started, what did you find out at the Board of Education to start doing what you do now?
Well, the Board of Education had not really moved its communications fully into the 21st century at that point because we did not have a digital presence other than our website. And the social media really, everyone's been using for the past 15 years, social media, especially Facebook for our generation, Instagram for the younger kids, and now TikTok, of course, and we do have a TikTok account as well, although we don't post on there, but we do use it to monitor because we do keep an eye on what goes on in the district and the community. Right. There have been times when there have been incidents, fights or things that have happened in the community that people have notified us about that have been posted on social media, and we do involve the Union City Police Department, and if necessary, we take disciplinary action because part of our presence and part of the reason for having a digital presence is to safeguard our community, particularly our students and our staff.
Good to know.
So, but I have to say, Mrs. Abato was all in favor of going in on it, and she has made it a very, very good work environment for me. Mrs. Abato is a wonderful person to work for.
Ralph, tell me something. Personally, I think that is very important. Now that the last 3 years we have the pandemic, COVID-19.
Yes.
And I understand that you actually work and manage the COVID-19 testing initiative. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, absolutely. Obviously, that's a very important aspect of our lives now. We've been living with this pandemic for almost 3 years. It shut down our schools for 15 months. We had to go virtual, which was not easy for anyone. And when we reopened, we had to implement a testing program for our staff. According to New Jersey state law, as specified in Governor Murphy's Executive Order number 253, which was issued last August, August of 2021, all personnel who work for a school district must either be fully vaccinated or must undergo testing a minimum of once to twice per week for COVID-19. So that is state law. And the board obviously has to comply with that. So we initiated a testing clinic of our own. We brought in an outside vendor who would provide free testing for our staff. We also, as per board policy, which you're familiar with, we also test all student athletes and coaches and any students that are involved in what are considered high-risk extracurricular activities.
And what is the location of those sites for the staff and
for the students? Okay. Yeah. For the staff, it's at Mother Seton School, which is at 1501 New York Avenue. And for the students, we bring the testing company into the high school building, the ACE building on Kerrigan Avenue at 22nd Street, and we do the testing there. Now, during the summer, of course, the testing is suspended because we don't have as many people.
It makes sense.
But during the school year, yes. Mrs. Abato had asked me to work with Marjorie Martinetti, our medical coordinator, on doing this, and she asked me to oversee the testing initiative, which I have done since last.
What will be the steps for those people on vacation that they come back, probably, like a couple days before classes start?
Okay, so you're talking about people who are away for the summer? They will be asked for the first week, since people may be away on vacation, they will be asked to provide test results, negative obviously, they have to be negative test results.
Exactly.
And they have to be PCR results, according to the law. We can't use rapid tests or at-home tests. They have to be PCR tests.
That is important to know.
Yes. And all of this is a matter of compliance with state law. So we have parameters with which we have to comply. Those who are away on vacation are permitted to get tested at a facility of their choice. They have to provide the results to me prior to reporting to work.
Let me ask you this. I mean, we are human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a lot of people complaints about that? I don't want to, the test. I don't have time. I mean, I don't want to wear the mask. How that works? Tell me about your experience.
Bringing the masks into it adds another whole layer. Yes. Fortunately, we don't have a mask mandate anymore because we got a lot of complaints from various people. Let me put it this way. Most people, 95% of people, comply with the requirements without any problem. They are a pleasure to work with.
That's good.
Unfortunately, there is a 5% that do complain and that require a disproportionate amount of time to address.
95%. This is
but 95% is a good number.
That's why we call it the Dream City. Union City.
I'll tell you what. Most of our employees and students and parents are a pleasure to work with. The kids especially, I have to say. Just as a general rule, working in education, the kids are the reward for doing it because they are just wonderful. And watching them progress and achieve and accomplish is a very special joy. And I've had the pleasure of seeing that with some of the kids. Even though I'm not a teacher, I get to see that in different schools and with different opportunities. And it's really a joy. We have a wonderfully dedicated staff of teachers and teacher aides and support services, administrators, who really put the kids first. And we're also very fortunate that the vast majority of parents work with us very cooperatively. They're supportive in the schools, they back us up, they work with us. And again, I give a lot of the credit for that to Mrs. Abato because Mrs. Abato sets the tone for the entire district.
Ralph, the Union City and the Hudson County, we have a very large community, Latinos community.
Yes, 96% of our students are of Latino origin.
And a large percentage of the parents, they do not speak English.
That is correct.
Language barrier.
Mm-hmm.
How that work?
We do pretty much everything in English and Spanish.
Bilingual.
Oh yeah, casi todo.
That's
because
and you speak Spanish?
I do speak Spanish.
Oh,
and I translate most of the documents that we send out because anything that we send to parents that has to be read and understood, and particularly if it involves consent, we do in Spanish as well. We try to do all of our marketing. That's one thing, Mayor Stack has always been very supportive of the immigrant community and of
100%.
all of our residents, and for many, many years that has been the case in Union City. Prior to working at the Board of Education, I sometimes used to help the city with its translation.
And that's the policy in Union City Hall.
Right.
Bilingual. And not only Spanish. We have cases that we have to get a translator, any languages.
We rarely need a translator because we have so many people who are bilingual, and it's great.
I mean, this is the good thing about Union City, the Dream City.
Right.
Everybody is treated the same.
Yes.
Doesn't matter from where you're coming from, your language, your religions. Hey.
Let me tell you, as someone who has lived in a couple of different states and a number of different cities, and I've worked, at this point in my career in a number of different jobs, I can say that working in Union City is really a joy. Mayor Stack runs this city so well, so precisely, and he listens. It's because he listens to the people. He's always listening to the residents, and he hears what they say, and he tries to satisfy their needs.
He loves the city.
That's it. That's exactly what it is. But he remembers that the job of government is to serve the people. And to make life better for the people.
That's the difference.
He embodies that.
That's the difference between
exactly
Mayor Stack and other people,
Oh, big difference, big time.
Big difference.
I'll tell you what. One of the things I have said to people, we've occasionally had employees who didn't want to work for us anymore, or people who complained about the city, and I always tell them the same thing: try it somewhere else, and then let me know how that compares to Union City. And you know what? Not one of them has ever come back and said it was better anywhere else. I can tell you that for a fact.
Yep. Ralph, I know that you are very close with Superintendent Sylvia Barrow, and you do a lot of things other than really the duties of your titles. beside the media, do you do other things for the superintendent?
I do. Basically any project or initiative that the superintendent assigns to me, I take care of. And she does entrust me, I'm honored to say, with a number of things. The COVID testing is one of them. Another is her communications. Many of her communications that are sent out to staff or to parents, she asks me to do the writing. Of course, she edits and oversees anything that goes out before she puts her name on it.
Sure.
But I handle most of those communications as well. And she has asked me to get involved in a number of other issues. Title IX, the HIV, which is harassment, intimidation, and bullying, and some of our diversity, equity, and inclusion and intersectionality programs in the district. So there are a lot of different things that I have my hands in.
I always see you involved.
Yes.
And I like that.
And one of the main things is she asks me very often to be her representative at different events, or for either the community or for the school district, because she can't possibly, with 14,000 students and over 2,000 employees, she can't possibly be in every place every time.
She has to delegate
She does.
things, not delegating one thing, but you have to know who you send it to represent.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So sometimes when we have ceremonies and things, I'm very honored to be her representative
Ralph,
there.
I know what it is, but what is HIV?
HIV
For the community,
yeah,
can you explain?
Absolutely. HIV stands for harassment, intimidation, and bullying. It refers to incidents that occur in the schools where a student is subjected, or occasionally it could even be a staff member, but specifically we're referring to students who are being harassed, intimidated, or bullied by other students. We are very, very proud of the fact in Union City that we have only a very small handful of those events.
And I can see that during the board meetings.
You're right, because that's announced in the superintendent's report at the end of her report each month. We rarely have instances. And when we do, we're able to resolve them. I mean, I can tell you we had one last month, and it was really what it often comes down to is a student who is engaging in bullying has something going on themselves or in their own life. Kids are not mean to other kids for no reason. There's something going on with them. And the key is to get to whatever that root cause is, to talk with the parents, to talk with the student, to talk with the teachers and find out what's going on and find a way to resolve it. Because the bottom line is we want all of our kids to succeed.
Exactly.
Okay? Yes. We don't want to label somebody a bully or label somebody else a victim and have them carry that label forward. We want to be able to work these things out so that all of our kids can succeed, because every single child that comes through our school has a chance to succeed and really have a good adult life. And part of our responsibility is carrying them from childhood to adulthood.
Okay, I really include these questions because a lot of parents, they could read all about the HIV, but really
they don't understand it fully, right?
But you just answer my question. Prof, do you really like what you do?
I love it.
At this moment.
I love my job. I love my job here. As I said several times, I love working with the superintendent. She is a wonderful human being. I enjoy working with the board members. I've come to know you all quite well. Everyone in this city is so dedicated, from the mayor on down. Everyone is dedicated to improving the quality of life for the people of Union City. And that type of commitment to a really admirable goal is a wonderful mission under which to work. I enjoy what I do. I am actually now pursuing a law degree, which I'm going to be going back to school to finish in just a couple of weeks.
Interesting.
And I hope to be integrating that
Very
into
good
my
to
job
hear that
as well.
from you. And you know, Ralph, one of the reasons that I ask you this question, if you really love what you do, because me as a board member, I don't want to see any staff member that doing things because I'm just waiting for my check. Yes, the money is important, but you really have to feel it from here.
Yes, you do. When you go to work each day, you spend too many hours of your life at work to be doing something that you don't enjoy. You know, yes, some people will do it for a paycheck. And if you're getting a great paycheck, then maybe you could do something you don't like. But you know what? In public education, I mean, we'll be honest, public education is not a high-paying profession, but we all earn our living, but we do what we do because of the kids.
But you know
because
what?
That's the joy
Money
of it.
is not everything in life.
No, it's not.
When
No, happiness is far more important than
and
money.
part of happiness
Far more
is
important.
doing what you love.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
You know,
I'm very proud to be a member of the Union City family. I really am.
Very good.
I mean, I was born in Jersey City. My parents grew up in Hudson County in West
Wow.
New York. My father's business was in West New York. You know, he lived and worked there for all of his life. There's a street named after him on 51st Street in Bergen Line.
Great.
And so Hudson County means a lot to me. And I'm just really, really pleased that I'm a part of it.
Ralph, once you told me
Mm-hmm.
that you are a singer.
I am.
Is that true?
It is true.
Hey, I'm a musician.
I'm aware of that. And a good one, too. I've heard you play.
Thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about, is it a hobby? Is it what it?
Well, it is a hobby. I mean, I've been involved in the performing arts since I was in high school. Actually, since I was in grade school, because I was in the choir when I was in junior high school. But since I was in high school.
Are you a tenor or a baritone?
I am a bass. I am way down. I'm a lower bass. I can hit very low.
I can hear your voice.
I can go down to a low D. So
once I'm gonna invite you to my studio and do something.
I would love to.
I will do it.
You know, and I sing with the New York City Gay Men's Chorus.
That's great.
Which I love. Performing on stage, I have had the pleasure of performing in Carnegie Hall, in Lincoln Center, in Disney Hall out in Los Angeles.
You're talking
in
about
several countries.
Major League, Carnegie
Yes.
Hall.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, when we performed on Carnegie Hall stage, we set a record for the number of singers on the stage at one time. Yeah.
Ralph, when you are singing, can you tell me, because I feel it when I'm playing my piano by myself in a concert.
I know what you're going to say.
It is something so special here.
You know what it is?
What do you feel?
It's the absolute joy of expression, of self-expression, and it's cathartic. It allows you to feel all of the emotions that you're putting into the music that you're creating and express them. And there's just no joy like it. It just lifts you up. It's the best high in the world. It really is.
You cannot get it better than that. That definition.
No, there is
Exactly.
To someone who hasn't experienced it, it's difficult to say. But I think for kids who play sports, for instance, it's the same thing as when you hit a home run or a touchdown. Exactly. I love it. I love it.
We as a professional, we always think about the future. How do you see yourself in the next 10 years, 12, 20, 15?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm 57 years old. I hope to work for the board until I retire. That is really my goal. As I said, I'm going back to law school in the evenings.
To hear that from you.
Thank you.
Because we don't want staff members just to come here for 2 months, 2 years, 2 years, and then leave.
This is the job I hope to retire from. And my intent, and I've spoken with the superintendent, obviously, is when I go back to law school and finish my degree, is to be able to integrate the legal training, and I have 15 years of legal experience behind me already, but to be able to integrate that into my job and help the board with compliance and legal issues as well. So it would expand some of what I do.
So you have a plan.
I do. And then what my plan would be, I'm not someone who expects to retire young. I don't have children. I'm not married. So I have my dog. And so my focus, I think, would be I would want to continue working as long as I'm able, because I get bored when I don't have something to do. I'm
Same feeling I feel.
a very busy person.
No, I know.
So my thought is that, I will then also probably do pro bono legal services for the community on the side as a volunteer, once I am in the position where I want to retire. But that's my intention. The next 10 years, I expect to be fully employed at the board.
You heard from Ralph. He brought a lot of good information to the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey. This special program, having you here it means a lot, because a lot of people in the community think, media or me this. Okay, the media has a role,
Yes.
a main role in any institution, because you can do whatever, but if nobody put it outside to read it and to know about it,
Right.
it get lost in the sky.
Right.
Nobody will know about it.
And also, too, I think it's important, communications in the digital age are so instantaneous that it's very important that the board stay on top of that. We try to share, positive things, and we try to share all of the wonderful things that go on with our students and staff, but it's also important for us to be able to have interaction with the parents.
Yes.
And that's one of the ways that we do that.
It is.
And sometimes it can get contentious online. We all know that too.
It's the real world.
But that's the real world, and that's how people interact. And, but the point is, we want to have open communication with the parents. We want to have open communication with our students, and we want to have open communication with our staff. And I think to a large degree we have improved upon that significantly in the past few years by integrating the digital presence.
Ralph, anything that maybe we didn't cover in our conversation that you may add?
I think the only thing I would say is that I hope the residents of Union City know how hard everyone who works for the city, including the Board of Education, City Hall, the city departments, that they know how hard people are working for your benefit. That's the one thing I just would want people to know.
Thank you.
Because it is really, really the truth, and I think sometimes they're unaware of how hard and how dedicated the employees are. From all of you at the board, who, by the way, you should know, are volunteers. Our board members do not get paid. They don't get anything. Exactly. They do this on their own because they want to serve the city, and I think that's really important.
And I love
for
doing
people.
it. Okay?
I know you do. I see you every month there, and I see how you work, and I think people need to know just how dedicated you all are to the city.
Very good. So thank you for coming to Union City, the Dream City.
Thank you.
I mean, every guest that I have here, my intention is these guests bring a lot of information, good information, educational information, general information. And our conversation tonight, was super great.
Thank you.
You brought a lot of things.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure, really. I'm really happy to be able to be here and talk with you.
I hope you enjoy the show tonight. And next week, 7 p.m., Union City, the Dream City, as every Sunday, a special guest. So thank you, Ralph.
Thank you, Kennedy. Have a good night.
Have a good one, too.